because they said we're getting some precipitation coming in, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. But we we play El Paso Socorro for the 7 o'clock game, and then early on it will be St. Pius against Hope at 1. Then it's going to be Rio Grande versus Santa Fe at 3, and then Espanola Valley takes on Sandia Prep at 5. So, and these teams have come. What's nice about our tournament is these teams want to come back every year, so it's not like I have to find anybody. So we're just excited for the opportunity to host our tournament and play 3 good games against 3 quality teams.
Well, I'll tell you, this is like 17 years, 15 years you ran the tournament, and I think 2 years you said, the 17-year tournament. It just shows you the success and the commitment that you put into this.
It takes a lot of work. I mean, yesterday, I was at school at 10 o'clock in the morning and didn't leave till 6. I had a practice in there from 12 to 2, but it's the paperwork, for the announcer, the teams. I'm putting together a program. We don't have a professional program, but I just, I put together something so that the fans, when they come in, if they want to see the rosters, they have a little booklet to take a look at. I know I probably don't have to do those things, but I enjoy doing it. Today it's going to be another practice and then just finalizing some things. We give each team a team meal, just making sure that that's ready to go. And 15 years is a long time, and I keep telling myself, how much longer can I do this? And I think as long as I enjoy basketball, and whether it's our tournament or not, I enjoy being with the kids, and we're the only tournament in town. There's some tournaments around the state, but we're the only local one. So if people want to, go watch some good basketball, they can come up to Rio Rancho tomorrow through Friday.
I tell you, what's going to cost to get into the game, or is there a weekly pass, or is it just a daily pass?
We do a daily pass. It's $5 for adults, $3 for students and seniors. That's something we've done every year. I know prices have gone up, the inflation's gone up, but I decided to keep it at that rate. So people can come in and pay $5 and watch 4 games. That's $1.25 a game. We do have a hospitality. We do have a hospitality room for the coaches and officials and workers, but we do have a concession stand. We have good food there, so people can eat and just watch 4 games of basketball each day. And like I said, it's a good price. And for kids, $3. I mean, there's nothing going on in town, so we hope to get a lot of people showing up this week.
Well, I tell you, let's kind of look at the matchups. You talked about Hope and St. Pius, and you got two private schools playing, and anytime and Pius going, they're kind of natural rivals for each other. So that's going to be an intense first game starting off.
Well, when I put the brackets together, I try to look at over the summer what these teams look like. I always mix the teams around each year so that you're not playing the same team every other year. And Pius has been in a few years now, but they haven't played Hope, and I just I just look for matchups. And I think that first game, you've got Coach Murphy, who's got over 800 wins, coming in against Coach Meyer, who's I think he's a second-year head coach. So he's young, but he's got good talent. Klob, I think, is their post player who's very good. And off the top of my head, I can't remember Hope's big player, but it should be a battle of the 2 bigs in that game. And then you figure the role players will play a role in the outcome of the game. But for first game of the tournament, it's an exciting game.
I tell you, then the second game's up. It's basically Rio Grande and Santa Fe, and Santa Fe and Rio Grande. I mean, Rio Grande's a team that's, is surprising a lot of people. I think out of the whole matchup, this is the one that intrigues me the most of this matchup here, to see who moves forward.
Well, and the one thing I didn't know, Steve, and I apologize to the Rio Grande coach, but they're both district opponents, and I don't like putting district opponents first round, but when I do the bracket, all I do is I put APS school, and I don't know which one it is. So when Rio Grande was in there, it didn't hit me that they were district opponents. I mean, you could play them first round, you could play them second round. I mean, eventually you could see each other. So, I'm not going to worry too much about that. But Rio Grande's 5-3, and Santa Fe's 4-4, and I expect both teams to be in the running for their district, with Los Lunas. But to play now, it gives both coaches an opportunity to kind of see personnel. Rio Grande has got some size. They got 3 players that have played varsity ball here a couple of years. So, their hands will be full for Santa Fe because they're going to have to match up with their size. But then at the same time, Santa Fe likes the full court press, and so Rio Grande's going to have to do a good job of breaking the pressure. But for a first round game, I think this one is the headliner, and I think a lot of people would want to come out and take a look at this game.
Well, then you have Espanola Valley and also Sandia Prep, and tell you, Espanola is always a little bit down from previous years, but they're always competitive and they're always scary.
Well, Joey Trujillo is now the coach at Espanola, took over for Gabe Martinez, who's now at Cibola, and Joey's been at Pewaukee. He's been there a long time, and anytime you got a new coach coming in, new system, a lot of things are going to change. And yes, their record is not. We're not accustomed to seeing Espanola at they're 1-10. I mean, it is what it is. But I always tell my kids, records don't mean anything. It's do you respect your opponent? And I tell my players this more this year because we play some teams that they don't look very big. I mean, Capital, for instance, last week was very small, and we didn't overlook them, and we played pretty well. But if Sandia Prep overlooks Espanola will give them a game. But I think that one's going to be an interesting game. Marcos Rivera does a great job at Sandia Prep. He's got Damian Segura over there with him, helping him with the defense. So you got two quality coaches going at each other, and like I said, that's the 5:00 game, and I think it should be an exciting one.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to go to Dream Style Top 10 Plays a Week, and then we're going to talk about your matchup against Socorro.
Lazos, Gedman, Martin, 3-ball. Yep. Love back up with the ball. Beautiful shot. I'll tell you what, Team Love, it's been her quarter.
Julia Espinosa, the good pass from lead. She makes the layup and she is fouled.
Gossett.
They're at the double team. We're trying to double team.
Leave it underneath for Gossett and layup and the foul. Chance at a three-point play. Jack Nutt's beautiful pass. Great ball movement. This is his first team of the game.
Eva Love, top of the key. Nice shot by Love.
The high screens. Knocked away by Hill, who takes it up with the left hand and scores. Andrew Hill has 14 in the game. Big turn. Hold out. Rebound, Gossett, he saves it to Perez. He's got Amos in front of the pack, wide open on the layup, the block, but the putback for Perez.
To 8, rather 7. And Ashton Capps, that's 3 steals that led to buckets. Make it 4, yes! Timeout taken by Rio Grande, you got
Nice move from Hill, and he throws it down. Andrew Hill ties the game at 12.
Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. We got Wally, Salata, head boys basketball coach at Rio Rancho, and got a great tournament coming up this Wednesday. But Wally, your matchups. The Corals been, as far as I know, they've been coming to Albuquerque for a long time. So you might give me the exact time, but there always seem to be a staple of this tournament.
Well, Coach McAnally, he was at El Paso Coronado when we had them up here, the first couple of years, and then he moved to El Paso Socorro. And I just, I know they're coming from El Paso. They don't bring a lot of fan base, but he's been very loyal, and he comes. And that's, as a head coach, that's what you want teams to show up. They don't want you to flake the last minute. So, he's been up here all 15 years that I've been here. His teams, this year they're 8-6. They lost in the championship game of the Cathedral tournament. They're playing better, and again, you can't underestimate Coach McAnally's team, because if you do, they're going to come in and beat you. I mean, they always come in and they play hard. I just know every year, no matter what side of the bracket they're on, he's going to get the most out of them. So we got our hands full. 8-6 team. We're 5-4. So record wise, we kind of look both the same as but we have to we've got to be able to continue to get better with what we're trying to. Our defense has been kind of the staple so far this year. We're giving up 50 points a game, and if you would have talked to me about 5 years ago, Steve, everybody thinks that I'm an offensive guru, where I like to score a lot of points, but we don't have the personnel this year to get 20 points a game. I mean, our leading scorer, averages, I think, 12 points a game. And the other night against Capital, we had 6 guys score anywhere from 8 to 13 points. So I'll live with that, because now the other opponent coach can't, hone in on one particular player. And, we're still trying to get better. I keep telling people, our guards, Mikey Wood came from football. He had a broken collarbone. He didn't get cleared till November 30th, so he hasn't had a lot of time in the gym, and so he had a really good game last week against Capital, where he had 8 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, and a block. And like I tell my players, you fill up the stat sheet like that, I'll take that on any given night. So he's getting better. And then Jamal Bynum, our point guard, he plays for New Mexico United, soccer, and we didn't get him until November 22nd. He didn't play any basketball since last March. So it's taken him a while to get back into the basketball mindset. And but they're 2 seniors, that 2 of our leaders, and to go with Matt Expresser and Jaden Johnson, we've got some good players. It's just that defensively, we can pick you up full court, and we're not giving up a lot of easy buckets. So I'm excited that we're able to do that, and we've got to be able to do that, because our district's coming up here in 3 weeks, and Trisco's 10-1 and Volcano's 11-0, and we got in Cleveland 7-1. So our district every year is tough, and so these games will prepare us for district.
Well, ProView, myself and Sebastian, we've done all your home games, and I'm just outside looking in, is much improvement. The game, the momentum is on your side right now. The way you handled Capital, a good team that you back to your defense, shut them down, but it was the first time that, and you already alluded to that, everybody contributed, and it was fun to watch. I mean, it was you was like you were scoring out of your defense, and you were running, and you were hitting threes, which you haven't been consistent with since I've been watching. But all of a sudden, the flow was going, and it seemed like everybody was having a great time.
And I listened to you and Sebastian, and just to get some tidbits, and we are not our threat is not from the outside. I mean, we have a couple guys that can shoot it, but that's not our bread and butter. Our 2-point field goal percentage is close to 60%, and when you're doing that, you're doing really well. I always tell our players, I'd rather be shooting 60% from 2 than shoot 2 for 20 from 3, because that's 10%. And I'm very big on stats, and I tell them, I said, if you're not a 3-point shooter, step in and shoot a 15-footer. But you've got to spend time in the gym and practice. And I constantly tell our players, if you want to be able to shoot the 3, you've got to practice. And so the press is, like you said, it is forcing a lot of turnovers. I mean, against Capital, and Capital was ranked 5th in max preps last week, and we forced 30 turnovers. I mean, when's the last time that you can say that we forced 30 turnovers on a Ben Gomez team? And Ben's a great coach, always has at Capital. And that particular night, we just we found some things that worked. And when you're able to press all game and only score, they think they scored 30 points that game. That's the lowest I think we've given up since I've been at Rio Rancho. But it's exciting because all the players got to play. I did play 10 players that particular night, and we need to play 10 players because Bynum and Wood and Johnson, they can't play 32 minutes. And so you've got to get contributions from, we had Chris Lucero the other night, a freshman. He had 8 points. And Josiah Marfell came off the bench. He scored 9. So when you're getting contributions from those guys, I think it makes it easier for the other players to, not be pressured to have to score. And I've always tell them, there's no pressure to score. It's, when you get an opportunity to shoot it when you're open. But the one thing that we've got to get better, though, is that we're turning the ball over way too much. I mean, we're averaging 20 turnovers a game, and that's a lot of turnovers for a high school team. And like I said, to beat the quality teams like Volcano, Atrisco, Cleveland, Sandia, La Cueva, you've got to be able to take care of the basketball, and that's just, we constantly remind them. And like I said, we're getting better. We just gotta take care of the baskdoll.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to come to a break, but we're going to come back and talk about pressure a little bit. I mean, one thing about he dominated the defensive boards and the offensive boards in that last game, but I want you to speak on him. And I think a lot of your success in the future goes on how well he handles the paint.
Sure.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-3600. 2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. We got Wally Salata, head basketball coach, boys basketball coach at Rio Rancho. And Wally, I just want to bring up, I was impressed with the presser. I mean, it was like all of a sudden, he's finding himself. I think outside looking in, it looks like he's getting in shape and he's getting the feel of the game. And I'd like to hear your comments on him.
Well, he's 6'5", and he's our biggest guy. And, he was out of shape. He is still trying to get in shape. When you're a big guy like that, it takes a while. When we were in the Artesia tournament a couple weeks ago, he hurt his ankle pretty bad. And, in the first game against Hobbs, and he continued to play on it for, the next 2 nights, which probably didn't help him. So he's been battling the ankle. He says it's not 100%, but he's out there. And, so I like the mindset of him wanting to be out there with his teammates. I just don't want it to, affect him, down the road, because we definitely need him, his size. I mean, after, if he comes out of the game, our next biggest guy is like 6'2". And so, he is, I thought against Capital was his best game of the year. He did have the size advantage, but he was finishing shots. He has a nice little shot, from 10 to 12 feet, and he should be dominating when he's playing against smaller players. And we've just got to continue to tell him, he shouldn't be playing around the perimeter. I mean, he shouldn't be outside. We have offenses set up for him to where we can, get the ball into him. And you saw that a couple times when he gets it, he's able to, make some moves to the basket. But, he should be getting 10 to 12 points a game. He's and then the rebounding, he's getting anywhere from 6 to 8 boards a game for us. So he is a piece of the puzzle. We always talk about our kids being the pieces of the puzzle. I mean, we talk about this, we only have 11 players, so we've got 11 pieces, and if one piece isn't fitting, we've got to work on figuring out why it's not working. And but he has gotten better, from last year, and he's a senior, so we expect the seniors to be the leaders out there to perform, because he's getting a lot of minutes, and like I said, I'm excited to see how he matches up against some of the bigger teams that we've got coming up down the road.
Well, let's talk about your sponsor. I mean, this name, Jalen Berger, and it's All-State Holiday Hoops Classic is but they've been sponsoring for quite a while, as long as I can remember.
Well, Jaylene Berger works at Allstate, and she, if people don't know, that we usually in the Observer we have Player of the Week at Rio Rancho in Cleveland, and so she sponsors that, and she's an ex-St. Pius person, so am I, and we kind of hit it off. I know her husband, from St. Pius, and she works here in Rio Rancho, and one time we got together, and she's our title sponsor. She's been for the last 8 years, and I appreciate her for doing that. I mean, if people don't know, it costs the cost of running a tournament is $9,000, for us. That pays for officials, for workers, trainers, custodians, security. And so, she pays, she gives us some money to help pay for those expenses. And then we also started a couple years ago, everybody knows that Allstate, you're in good hands with Allstate. So she came up with the idea of having this Good Hands Award. for the player who has the most assists in the tournament. And so we started doing that the last couple of years, and we'll do that again this year. And without her, like I said, it'd be very difficult to run this tournament because, you need sponsors, and we have 5 this year. And besides Jaylene, I'd just like to give a shout out to the others. The Rio Rancho Convention and Visitors Bureau has been with us for 15 years. Graphic Connections been with us for 15 years. Archibald Law Firm, this is going to be their 2nd year. And then Dairy Queen, Tony Otero, this is his 3rd year. So when you have sponsors helping you with the tournament, it really, like I said, I'll continue to do it as long as I have sponsors. But it's when you don't have those sponsors, it's very difficult to run this tournament. And we just, we've been fortunate to like I said, Jaylene is the top of the list because she's done it for 8 years, and I think she'll continue to do it as long as I ask her, and I appreciate everything that she's done for our tournament.
Well, I tell you, it doesn't happen without them, and I know that every year you get a little bit more sponsored and get more people involved. But but the thing is, it's impressive about you is you do most of it yourself. I mean, it's amazing what you get accomplished. I know that you're wearing multiple hats, trying to coach and do the tournament.
Well, and it's not like it's a weekend thing. I mean, the prep starts happening, in the spring when I send out the contracts to the 7 teams. I do that because, again, you don't want teams to bow out last minute. So, and I'd say March and April, when I get those contracts returned, that's the biggest part, making sure you have your teams. I mean, I have teams that want to come in, but I just, there's no room. I mean, if you remember when I first started back in 2009, we had 16 teams, and it was fine a couple of years, but then that 16 team, we were having a difficult time, so we dropped it to 8. And so to have the same teams come in, that's a testament to the coaches at those schools. They like, I always say that if you keep coming back, there must be something we're doing right. And I do say we have one of the best hospitality rooms in the state. I have parents that go out and start this, in November, asking businesses in the community to donate food. And we've got like 13 different sponsors, that are going to be giving us food this year. And I know you and your workers enjoy that because you guys are there all day on all tomorrow. And so the hospitality room, like I said, it takes about 6 weeks to get that organized. But to run the tournament, like I said, it just to get the team meals, we get 1 team meal, per team. I wish I could get more, but it's hard to find, sponsors to give multiple meals. So we did get 8 meals, and I'd like to give a shout out to Dion's because they give us 3 meals. Rudy's Barbecue gives us 2. We have McDonald's, which is a new one this year. They're giving us 1 team meal. We have Chick-fil-A here in Rio Rancho giving 1, and then Jersey Mike's. So, the teams get to go one time, to get a free meal because, coaches got to pay for, for the players to eat something. And then it's the workers here too that you got to get. And it's a process, Stephen, and it just takes a while. And I can't wait till Saturday because then it's all over and I can relax a little bit.
All right. Hey, thanks for coming on the Steve Davis Show, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, Steve. Thank you. Have a good night.
We fight the battles no one hears about.